Happy Sunday, everybody. Let me know if you can hear me, if that's okay. Good morning. Good morning. Hey, Cut and Shoot. Grammy H. I haven't seen you. I feel like I haven't seen you in forever. Nicolina, good to see you, my love. Oh, I hope you have a wonderful day with your son. Hey, Anissa. Hey, Kaylee. On the sidelines. Hey, love. Kim O, always good to see you. I feel like I follow you. My crazy watcha. Matt Lingo. Hello, hello. Tennille, so good to see you. Yes. Be safe, watcher. You're on the main roads, Matt. You're hilarious. Hey, Kimmo. I'm not too sure if I said hello yet. Hey, Cluckers. Good to see you, love. So, I am going to start a new call-in because I want to know on if you have experienced content that has gone too far without, how's the best way to put this? Content that would be harassing, stalking, without any provocation. I can't even say the word today. It's Sunday, y'all. My brain is gone. You're more than welcome to call in and voice your opinions. I personally think there's been a lot that has happened, and there's a middle ground for a lot of us, and there's a time where it's standing up for what's right. But then again, it's one thing if you're in the drama. Good morning, Classy Colt. So good to see you, love. If you're in the drama sector and you're going back and forth, shooting shit, that's one thing. But when you see subscribers getting the big brunt of it, or certain people that are basically fight or flight, which I am guilty of. Sorry, my kids are fighting over a toy with my daughter. Good morning, Christina. So good to see you, beautiful. And what's too far what do you consider content and what do you consider not content? And also, many of us that I see in chat, we go everywhere, 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 right? I go to all sides of YouTube. And um, Nicolina can attest this, probably Christina can too. I heard traders talk about how a lot of people get certain treatment for being in certain chats or bashed. It You should be able to go where you want and what you want unless you're it's a there should be no judgment. And there's a lot of people that are in wars that or blinded to the bullshit people are pulling and the actual damage that they're causing in real life to certain people that are actually subs. Oh, thank you, Nicolina. Thank you, love. $1.99 super sticker with the red lipstick. I love it. Thank you. I know myself, I will be a bush watcher and it's just until I know I can be comfortable in talking there. Just for the predisposed opinions of where I've been or who I mod for. Now, I mod a lot of channels. And some are courtesy wrenches too, by being a creator. But sometimes it gets held over your head, and that goes for subs too. I think that there's a fine line of when it's content and the banter back and forth. But when it comes to the harassment that I have seen lately, it's just uncalled for. And there is times where I will speak up and cause distractions to defend some people that won't speak up or aren't ready yet to. Be against crotch recording. You changed your name. I love that. You crack me up, girl. Exactly, Nicolina. I am the same way. I am the same way. Kendra, you and me both, girl. I feel it. 100%. The harassment will never end. They want to silence you and will do anything to make it happen, says Christina. 100%. Cut and shoot. It's really sad when people don't feel comfortable chatting. I hope that doesn't occur in my chat. I agree wholeheartedly. There's a lot of things that the subscribers do not see that goes on in the background. Absolutely, it won't stop. It is to force you into silence or quitting. Absolutely, Nicolina. And that's why I'm making this live, is because I am seeing so many people that have been asking for help, support, but won't follow through on their end too. There's only so much we can do as creators and be a safe zone for you and give you the proper resources without taking those steps and following through as well. And you should be able to go where you want and what you want to do. Matt, yes, I feel like if I go in one chat, one side hates me. If I go in another, the other chat hates me. So I just stop chatting when it's bashing time. 100%. And There's times where I won't go into chat if certain people are in panel. I just won't use my energy on that. Oh, it is? I want to say your old name, girl. First live, great to be here. I'm so happy to see you. But there is a point of where if you are getting attacked and you want help, you need to follow through on yours as well. Hey, Kathy Cat, so good to see you, beautiful. And to Neil, I get so mad though and had to stick up for Betty in chat. 100%. Hey, Whoops Mom, be very careful driving. Strong broads unite. Give me a job. Hell to the yeah. Kaylee, I've been on both sides of it, and I have had a huge part in contributing to the nastiness in the part, and I feel like a POS for some of the things I've said and done. We all have. It comes to the point of where it's more of the self-awareness. Oh no, he canceled on you? Well, we're happy to have you, love. Now, also, if you don't want to call in, this number is open. The voice lines are open because not everybody wants to jump on panel. God, I can't wait until I move. My neighbors are so damn loud. All right, so the poll is 84% yes, 12% no, and 3% undecided with 32 votes, right? Aw, I understand. That's so sad. Well, that's a sweetheart for doing that. You've got a good kid, love. Support system is very important during those times, as we all know. But we've got a visitor. Hello, beautiful.
Good morning, beautiful. How are you?
I am good. How are you?
I'm good. Just thought I'd come up here and keep you company.
Thank you. So I'm just more or less trying to figure out. I want to be able to have fun. I want to laugh. There's a certain point of where we should be able to defend ourselves. But when is enough enough? You know? Hey, Holly Dolly. So good to see you, love. Oh, we got the crazy watcher. So good to see you, beautiful.
There comes trouble.
Yep, she was driving, so not too sure if we'll be able to hear her.
Yeah, I'm still driving.
She cracked me up, girl.
Oh, I feel some trouble coming on. I'm just kidding.
She's always up to trouble.
Good morning, watcher.
Have a beautiful day, Kendra. Thank you so much. You are making money moves, girl. Keep doing what you're doing. Hey, Miss Lee. Thank you for coming in. So good to see you. Now, I'm all about defending and protecting the ones I love, or the ones that shouldn't be placed in being attacked. Right? And sometimes I will intentionally cause a fit on here to get the fire off of somebody else. Machinius, good to see you, love. So much has gotten so far out of control. 100%. And there's a point of where when certain people want to cry and complain about it, you expect everybody else to stand up for what's right and do what's right. Be in the line of fire. Get hated on because they are trying to help somebody. But yet not follow through on your part. You know, and there's only so many times that somebody will be willing to assist you or help you or support, except for the center circle, you know?
Yeah, sometimes the defending, like with my close friends, I always ask them, don't stand up for me or defend me because it will put a target on their back. And it's sad that it's like that. Because I don't want them having the target just because they're supporting me or defending me. So it's really hard. And it's hard to sit in chat after, your friend has asked you not to defend them and to listen to what's being said about them on panel. It's really hard.
Yeah,
Sometimes
and you and I have been put in that position many times.
correct. And you stood up for me, and I appreciate it. Always will appreciate it.
I'll always stand up for the ones that are true, loyal, and a good person that I know through and through. And the misjudgment or the predisposed judgment of somebody, that it's like cult mentality. Everybody goes into attack. And I know you on a personal friendship level. And it's just, I will not sit there and let somebody that I care for be attacked. But yet, I'm the same way. Don't put your, what's the best words for it? Don't jump in the line of fire if you don't have to.
Right.
Because unfortunately, certain creators are, we lost her. She's driving. She's gone.
She's driving them back roads in Texas.
Yeah. And it's more of classy cult. The hypocrisy on these shows is really bad.
Yeah.
Well, and it also comes to the point of where are the creators calling it? Now, I gotta be honest about this. I was always the bush watcher. And then little by little, I started talking. I still do. If I don't, I kind of like to read the room before I even comment,
Oh, yeah, I do the same thing.
But it comes to a certain point of like, am I going to get attacked or am I not? And it shouldn't be that way, especially perfect example. If you're somebody's mod and you get attacked for creators beefing, that's a fine line of fuckery I don't agree with.
Correct.
Because the mods are there to mod. And
Yeah,
sometimes
I'm
it
very
gets too sticky.
Yeah, I'm very protective of my mods. So, yeah, I don't have a problem calling people out in chat, but I've never had an issue in my chat. My chat's always been pretty good. But I've always believed that the attitude on the panel kind of controls the attitude in chat. So if there's a lot of hostility and fighting going on panel, there's going to be hostility and fighting going on in chat. So I think as creators or channel owners, if you're doing a live, if you stay calm, I think the chat will stay calm regardless, because I've done shows where I've talked a lot of shit about people defending myself on my own, but my chat still remained calm and there was no fighting or anything like that. So,
right.
but I handle things a little bit differently than some people. I don't get all crazy and, I do cuss, but I don't get all crazy and psycho when I'm angry. I just stay calm, matter of fact, and just speak facts. And that's that. So, yeah, I agree with Kim. Some mods are nasty.
Here's a good one. Yep. But some mods are nasty too and keeps me in the bushes sometimes. 100%. That's on the creator sometimes, but also I mod in certain channels where the mods get flat out attacked and pulled into the drama. And sometimes it's like an automatic response, but behind the scenes, they're some of the best people I know, the most giving and kind-hearted. So sometimes it's almost like they don't know where you're coming from too.
Right.
It's a double-edged sword in my opinion.
Sure. Well, and I recommend too, most channel owners have their email address on their about page, or maybe scrolling. Like I have mine on my about page and on my banner. If you get blocked or timed out unfairly, um, e- email the channel owner and say, hey, tell them what's going on, because they may not know what's going on. Because when you're doing,
Aw, I'm sorry to interrupt, cut and shoot.
no,
Thank you, Watcher. Love you long time too, my girl.
fine.
I do special for you. I do special
Aw.
for you.
$10
$10 make you
special?
holler. Yeah, you no boyfriend? Why you no boyfriend?
Oh, that's because I got a ring on it.
Oh, hey, he liked it. He put a ring on it. Sorry. Go ahead. Carry on.
I
Oh,
pulled
you're
him to the
fine.
altar by his ear.
So
Go
I
ahead,
just
cut and shoot. I'm so
recommend,
sorry.
no, you're fine. It's your show. I recommend, if you have an issue with mods of any kind, whether it's being blocked or you just feel like they're being nasty, screenshot it and email the channel owner and make them aware of it. Because a lot of times when we're up there talking, we're not seeing every comment being made in chat. And, you know, and the channel owners need to be aware of how their mods are behaving, because in the end, mods are a dime a dozen. And if they're mistreating the subscribers, I'm going to most likely unwrench that mod, because my subscribers is what makes my channel. I wouldn't have a channel without them. So if you have
They,
a mod that's just being a jerk, I want to know about it, you know?
yeah. And on my end, I see even like LC, or I've seen traders do it. I've seen Anissa do it. I've seen a bunch of people mod everybody. In one end, I see that's great because it's 100% transparency on who's deleting what and when and how. Because you can see the comments that are not acceptable and what's being deleted. But um it's also a fine line of the new ones that are coming in, and like, oh shit, am I welcome? Like, just the first presence on YouTube, not opposed to somebody that's already been around on these channels and knows of them, if that
Right.
makes sense. I'm talking about like a potential new sub.
Correct.
Sometimes it can be, it's great, and then it can be like, oh shit, you know? And it's just, I've seen a lot done to people behind the scenes, and a lot of the subs only see literally 5% of the bullshit that goes on in the background.
That's true. Yeah. Because not everybody goes to the same channels.
And be against crotch recording. I know where that's from now. Light bulb just hit in. I'm scatterbrained. Cut and shoot can say that today. I've noticed also when you are a new sub, not many people, maybe one or two mods, maybe one mod or none, don't acknowledge you, especially if you are a new sub. And sometimes it's almost like you're in there enough and frequently, then more people start to acknowledge you. And the best thing I could say is just keep participating, and you're too much of a bright soul to not worry about whether you're being ignored or not. It's more of seeing you interact as well. It goes on both sides, unfortunately. Sometimes I've noticed.
Yeah. Well, and as new subs, I think with all the crap going on, the mean stuff going on, people are very suspicious of new people, and people are very suspicious of alts. So I think that adds to it. But I think as mods, and I'm your mod, And I feel like as mods, the mods should be welcoming everybody, at least acknowledging their presence and saying hi, welcome, or one way or another. I think that's kind of part of the job of the mods. That way that they've been acknowledged. Whether they engage in conversation, I guess that just depends. But I do notice that there are clicks in every channel in the chats, and it
Yeah.
can feel lonely if you're not part of that clique, or you're not the popular one, or a lot of times, like with me, I'll address people as a mod for the most part, but if I don't like them, I just ignore them. Like, I don't cause trouble, I just don't acknowledge them. But it kind of works out better that way, so there's no drama.
Right. And I've also, we got a call, ladies.
Hey.
Hola. ¿Cómo
Thank you for
está?
calling. This is Miss T. Hello.
Hello, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good.
What are you calling about?
I'm good. This is G2K.
Hey, love. Good to see you. Can you hear him, ladies?
Well, I just calling because nobody else is calling. I wanted to see a little bit of action. You know what I mean?
Well, thank you. Thank you for calling. Do you have any opinions on this conversation? Any thoughts?
Well, I mean, I think mods have a specific, specific job to do. They, I'm agreeing with. Is that cut and shoot up there with you?
Yes, sir. And everybody who wants to know who's calling in, it's get to know.
I got a major delay in my phone for some reason.
Oh, hey, get to know. How are you?
Do you have the screen open
Good.
on
Good, I'm good.
YouTube possibly?
Maybe I'll just come up on panel and say hi real quick.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks for calling in, though.
Yeah, I
And
got
our
my
first
screen caught
caller
up and everything. I
ever.
don't know what's going on.
All right. I'll see you soon.
Okay. You're welcome.
Okay, so I'm nosy. I have to know what this crotch recording thing is about. Is that like an inside joke?
Yeah, with Brian
It's
Koberger.
hilarious. It's what?
Brian Koberger, BK. They zoomed into his crotch, I guess. I haven't gotten the full story, but it clicked with me. It's they're I caught like the last 5 minutes of Bullhorn's live yesterday, and she was saying something about crotch gate, something to do with they zoomed in on his crotch during the last trial because they're having all these rules with the Idaho 4.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
So, Kaylee, this is a good opinion from somebody that has everybody modded as well. I feel like it's a lot of pressure on both ends when choosing mods, so I've eliminated that unnecessary stress from my channel, and I just give everyone who chats a wrench. And it takes pressure off me and makes everyone, in my opinion, feel equal. Fair enough.
I'm a woman with the wrench.
That's cool. Yeah, I've noticed a lot of channels do that now.
Yeah.
So.
And it kind of leaves it transparent. And I do like that to a certain extent. But then again, and Nicolina, if you're in chat, I have to just say thank you for calling out what you did the other night. You know what it is. I know what it is, but I don't think we'll be seeing my clone around any longer. If we do, I know who it is at least. And Tennille, what example are you asking for?
What goes on behind the scenes that people don't see?
A lot of them are not my stories to tell. But what would you say is a good one, Watcher, that's crossed the line of, I know one in particular that has me fired up, but
You know, I think one of the things that people fail to realize is people talk off of YouTube, and whether you're a mod or whether you're a friend or a subscriber that just happens to get in on a phone conversation, there's things that happen behind the scenes, phone conversations that are had to give context to a situation or to kind of explain where somebody may be coming from. And when that stuff is taken outside of the realms of the privacy in which it was set in and content is made out of it, that's crossing the line and it becomes a problem. And what ends up happening is things are very seldom repeated the way that they're said. And so then it starts a whole shitstorm that maybe shouldn't have been started. And I'm speaking that from my own particular recent experience. So that's one example is, somebody may be talking to you, sharing something with you of their perception of something. And then you see something else happening with one of those particular people that you conversed about. And so you jump on the bandwagon to stand up for what's right. And in all actuality, you stick your nose where it doesn't belong and you create more of a problem than there was to begin with. And then it comes back on you.
Yep.
So
And I'll stick my neck on the line for this one. Chat, what would you think about a sub being doxxed if they did not report to somebody an answer or relay a message? That's one example. Put a 1 if it's whatever. Put a 2 if it's despicable. Put a 3 if you don't agree. Or if you agree. If it's
so how about
okay.
1 if it's acceptable, 2 if it's not acceptable,
And
3
3
if
undecided.
it's just undecided.
My brain is chicken shit today.
I have to say, I am against any and all doxing, period. I think it's wrong and completely unacceptable to dox anybody. That's just my opinion.
And
See
Miss T,
plenty of 2s.
if I could, I want to go back to something you said in the very beginning.
Yes, ma'am.
When you were talking about where does content cross the line? And
Yep.
I'm going to speak for myself here because over the last 24 hours, I've had a very eye-opening revelation about some things that's really changed the course of my direction and how I feel about everything that's gone on. So there was certain information that I put out there. For example, about my son, his charges, him being in prison. I don't regret putting any of that information out there. It was put out there by me. What I disagreed with, where I think it crossed the line, is when his picture, his TDC number, and his unit name was put out there like a hit was being made on him. That's where it crossed the line for me. The situation with the shooting that I was involved in, I put that video up on my YouTube page. I went on another panel and I talked about that incident. I sent over a redacted copy of the news article that was posted here locally. I hang on. I did that. I put that information out there. Where it crossed the line is when somebody took that information, they dug deeper into it and reached out to the defendant and their family members. That's where it crossed the line. So
Okay.
if it would have been left as content where I put it, that would have been fine.
Right.
Say what you want to say about that. But
so
when
that might be the next
Go ahead.
question we can have for chat. Now, if any of you guys want to call in, if you're not comfortable on panel, go ahead and call in. The number is listed below. But that is the next question that I think we'll have as well. Is should family and non-subscribers and children be involved in any of it? Put a 1 if you want a separate poll. Put a 2 if you want it in one poll.
I say leave people off YouTube who are not on YouTube.
that aren't involved. That's what I'm thinking, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And here's the thing. In my particular situation with the court case, it's still an open case. It hasn't been disposed of yet. There's people that their freedom and the rest of their lives are on the line, whether they're the victim, the defendant, or whatever. But at the end of the day, when you cross that line and you involve people that aren't here on YouTube, you don't know exactly what you're affecting in that person's life. And I'm going to tell you something. I haven't had the best relationship with my grandchildren's mother, but I love her. And I don't want anything bad to happen. She's got her reasons for feeling the way that she does. I'm not one to argue with that. She's those kids' mother, but don't go meddling in her life and my grandchildren's life because you can't get to me.
Yeah.
That's not
Now,
right.
that's going to lead me in, and that's where I was going to put my neck on the line for this. And you're aware of this. Chat, what do you think about a subscriber being content to the point of where they're not agreeing with it, and the creator goes real life to where they lose their car, their home, any finances, to where they can't even feed themselves and their child? Press the 1 if you agree, and press the 2 if you disagree.
That's bullshit.
Yeah, I think it's horrible.
This example right here is why I flip out, but I don't name names. That story happened to a dear sub that many of us interact with, and I'm not going to name names.
Mm-hmm. I know what you're talking about. It's fucked up.
I have I'm sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I have a personal example. Like, I was asked by my daughter to no longer post any pictures of my grandson in his progress due to a certain person making fun of him, and unprovoked. Like, I don't cause any problems for these people, but it makes me sad because so
Did she stop talking, or is it just
I think the volume went out. I'm not sure what happened there.
switch my
Yeah, that
earphones?
was weird.
The creator was irresponsible? No, it was intentional.
It was malicious.
Now,
Was being an asshole.
sorry, Kaylee, that happened. I've had a recent knock at my door in the last 48 hours that was completely ridiculous and warranted because I told the truth about someone and defended myself on YouTube. 100%. Now, with this sub, it's one of the brightest people and the kindest hearted person I know. But many think that that's content. Is that considered content to you? Press the 1 for yes, press the 2 for no.
I won't
That's a
watch shit
2
like
for
that.
me.
That is just 1% of stories that are in the background that many do not see or hear. And that's why I want to bring this to the table. Is it considered content or is it not? Because I see a lot of people thinking it's just content, and I see comments, it's just content. But that one story I just told you about a sub, I don't think that's content, and that's where the subs don't see it. Just because they don't see it or hear it, they don't realize that there's more behind the scenes.
Correct.
For me, content is informal. It's informational. You know what I mean? It's educational. It's important. It's funny. It's sad stories. It's not putting somebody's personal business out there for everybody to have. It's not content. That's just being a dickhead.
Well, and
What
I
if-
mean, even like what Kaylee's saying right now, I mean, she had a knock at her door. Here she's having to provide a piss sample because somebody's butt hurt that she stuck up for herself against their bullshit on YouTube. I mean, it's
Yeah, that's bullshit.
ridiculous. It's
It's bullshit.
absolutely insane.
Yeah. I think the abuse of child services being called and that's all bullshit.
Yeah.
Well,
Never waste those people's time over YouTube bullshit.
well,
Right.
even on the
Yeah.
subs part of the story that I said, child services was not involved. It was the subs family.
Ugh. Yeah.
And due to this creator, they cut her off completely of everything and staying on a couch. That's not content. That is why when you see me, oh, you little, I almost said the F word. I love you. You know I gotta give Dale special treatment. Yeah. Yeah. And it's one thing if I get doxxed or I've said a million times, my shit's in my Cash App, my shit's in my PayPal. I've got nothing to hide. But some people, that's why we have screen names, is some people want to stay private. And if they tell you something in private, it does not mean that you can take it to your advantage and use it as leverage, especially when they trusted you or even their child trusted you. And here's my man of knowledge. I have a crush on Phil, if nobody has noticed. But I'm a little ashamed because he's younger than I expected. It's just a virtual crush. Just because I envision him as a little old man with a bow tie, grumpy and wise. And we could just sit there and have coffee, history museum, and just bullshit and people watch. Sorry, have to get it out every time I see him. Because I envision him as like a little grumpy old man. And that picture doesn't help. Sorry. I totally squirreled when I saw Phil. Even, I just have to say, when I found out as young as he was, I was disappointed. I love little old men, babies, and anything furry. Damn it. Doxing is unacceptable for anyone who truly believes in privacy. End of discussion. Add on kids under 8-year-old, and that's where I flip out. But cowards go personal because it's their last option. 100%. Now, if you look at my kids, I'm not shy to say that my twins are on the spectrum. They're opposite ends of the spectrum. They're still, what is the word I'm looking for? Nonverbal, and they're 3. So a lot of times they will yell, they will scream, or because they can't express or say what's going on. We've been working on sign language and different ways, but that does not give a right for another creator to call them pieces of shit and nasty. They saved my life.
Oh, they're your babies. You shouldn't talk. Nobody should be doxing or speaking poorly about any children, period.
And that goes with your grandkid.
Yeah,
It crosses
it's
a line.
disgusting. It's disgusting. It's like these are grown ass people bullying and talking shit about children, and it's crazy.
Now,
I don't
I can tell
understand
you how many times I get spoof phone calls all the time. and Watcher can attest to this. I'll send it to her all day. Texas, Colorado, Utah, Idaho. Where else, Watcher?
Oklahoma.
Oklahoma. Sound familiar, you gal? Spook phone calls all day long.
Oh, I get ever since I was doxxed by a particular person, I get I get notifications of these nasty pornographic websites that I supposedly signed up for. I get phone calls all hours of the day from, weird places that I don't normally
Mhm.
get calls from. All of that stuff.
Well-
It's I get notifications of Twitter accounts being made or Instagram. I don't even have Twitter or Instagram, So yeah, it's annoying.
Yep. And that's why I keep the Google screen on, or I just don't if I don't have your number saved, I just don't answer.
Yeah, that's me too.
But then also going after my family. It's one thing to come after me, but to come after my family and my only livelihood. I've been very open that everybody is dead in my family. I have no family, immediate family. And for you to come after my family, my husband, and our situation, you can believe what you want, but there is a judicial process, and we're almost done with that. So calling ICE will only get you so far when nobody has a fucking record.
Right.
Not one arrest, not one drug, not 1 ounce of alcohol, barely. I've got them stuck on wine coolers, pussy drinks. I'm the one that drinks tequila at night, every now and then, on the
Buster.
live, when I need a drink. Buster, I'm going to bust you out of here. Good to see you, love.
Funny.
And these are just smidges of our stories and stories of others. Just like when Phil, he had no right to be doxxed or his children, nor did mine, or talked shit about. And you're really going to stoop low and say you wish Jack was dead? Really? You're gonna stoop as low to go to the animals now? Make that make sense. It's not content.
The thing is that I'm going to tell you, like I said, in the last 24 hours, my eyes were really open to a lot of things. And this is my opinion. I'm speaking for myself. What I've come to realize is there are a lot of people out there that want somebody to stick up for them, that want somebody to put theirself, up front and defend their purpose or their name because they're not willing to do it. There's a lot of people out there that see the injustice, but they want somebody else to handle it. They don't want to get their hands dirty. They just want to sit back and reap the benefits of all of it or be able to watch the content. There are some people out there that thrive off of the drama because it's somebody else. So that means it's not on them. I'm done. I'm done with it all. Jim Terry, Mark Terry, whomever, they can go do whatever the hell they want to. I'm not wasting one more moment of my life worried about their dead asses. I'm really not. Because at the end of the day, they've done everything that they can do. They're not going to really show up somewhere and do something to somebody. They're just not. And if people continue to feed it, it's going to continue to grow. Do I enjoy roasting them sometimes? Absolutely. Do I agree with the stuff that they've done? Absolutely not.
Now, see,
And it
roasting on another level, I could see as content. Roasting back and forth, that could be perfect content.
Right.
It's when you go real life and call jobs.
Right. Exactly.
And like the story I told you about a sub.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't even know what she's going to be eating or when she's going to eat the next time because she's lost her house, her car, her home, and her kid. That is not
You know,
content.
no, it's not. And at the end of the day, um, I don't agree with what happened, and I feel absolutely horrible for her. But at some point, we as subscribers, we as watchers, we have to be responsible and accountable for what we also put out there. We get very comfortable with one another and we share maybe too much information when we're on panel, and we've got to step up with each other and say, hey, I love you, but maybe that's a little too much to put out there.
I
Or
agree. Yeah, I agree.
also, if you say something in private and it gets put out as content when you trusted that person, or you just simply said it and not realizing they're holding it in their back pocket, or if they go out of the way to go and find your personal information, your personal Facebook that you haven't touched in like 5 years, and rip videos off of it and make a channel of that other person. Why? Why? That is going beyond the extra step of trying to figure out who that person is and harassing them, in my opinion. That's
Yeah, but if the person that it happens to, that's the victim of it, doesn't do something about it, whether it's file a report, reach out to that person and try to see what they can do to, you know, get that situation squashed. Why are we running around sticking up for people and
Yep.
having these conversations over and over again?
Yeah,
Is it
because
right?
the
No.
platform isn't doing it.
Yeah. I mean, and so at some point, people have to understand if you're on social media, lock that shit down. If you don't want people getting that information, lock it down. Should you have to do that? No. But it's the responsible and reasonable thing to do if you don't want your information out there. We all know it. So we can sit here and point the finger and blame, but if we're not being responsible ourselves as users, then when it happens, it's you can't just sit there and look back hindsight and go, well, fuck, that shouldn't have happened. Because
Well,
guess
and
what? It's too late.
you bring up a good point on that, and also as you try to self-aware yourself, unlocking your stuff down and maintaining it, also do the same to your children's
Yes.
accounts and teach them.
Mm-hmm. And
Well,
what would be a great, oh, I'm sorry, go ahead, cut and shoot.
no, go ahead and finish your thought.
Oh, what I was going to say is, I think what would be an absolutely wonderful show is for people who aren't that tech savvy, for someone who is, to show them how to do these things. A lot of people don't know where to go to make certain things private. Like if
Well,
even if you're a friend of mine on my Facebook, you can't see my friends list.
well,
Now you
see,
can kind of go ahead.
that made me think of possibly inviting somebody, and I reached out to them last year and haven't done it since. But bringing on a local predator hunting group that is local to me that I know through mutual friends. And they always, every time they catch a sicko that's trying to meet a kid, they still put education into it and what apps to do and how to be proactive. And during those, even though you're supposed to be teaching your kids, take those lessons within too. So I might actually reach out to him and see if he'll come on then.
Well, and
Yeah.
I mean, go ahead.
The thing about, yeah, you should protect your social media accounts if you're going to be, on YouTube or whatever, but you can't delete every single thing off Google. And when you have people Googling you and actually going into realms that are outside of Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and they're doing it like they're looking up your spouse's shit. Like, I don't have a Facebook page. The person that doxed me to Jim clearly went on my husband's Facebook page, all of that stuff. And that's fine. He's not on YouTube. I asked him to privatize it, but at that point, I never dreamed that somebody would go that far into looking up, spouses and children's YouTube pages or Facebook pages and, and such, or looking up, your freaking spouse's job and that's just crazy to me. And half the shit these people that dox people, half of it's not even true. You know,
Exactly.
it's ridiculous. So doxing, doxing is just not a good idea ever. And
here's
participating in it for whatever reason is not okay. There's been a lot of people I would have loved to have put on blast and doxed, but it's just not moral. It's not a moral thing to do. I don't care who somebody is in real life. I don't care what they do for a living, where they live, what their house looks like, where their spouse lives, or their children, and how many grandchildren they have, and what their grandchildren look like. I just think it's just immoral to even participate in that, whether you're a channel owner or you're a subscriber doing it for a channel owner. It's wrong, period. And
now,
I think subscribers need to stand up against it when it's happening and be like, this is not okay. If they're watching me, for instance, and I'm on my panel and I'm doxing somebody, which I would never do, but if I did, I would, it would make me think, well, clearly my subscribers are against this. Maybe I
Right.
shouldn't be doing this. And it would make you look like a damn idiot. People need to start standing up for it. They may not like it and they say they don't like it when it happens, but they hang around for the other entertainment. That you're still involved. You're still involving yourself in it. And when it's happening to people, those people are watching who all is just entertaining it. And if you stop entertaining that behavior, eventually it should stop.
and
Yep.
Phil, something happened to a creator last year by a bigger, well, I wouldn't say he's bigger, but a creator that I mod for. She was doxxed and her child's daycare was doxxed. And they even took an extra step because they had a disagreement in a case. They didn't see eye to eye. And they went to EquiSearch, who she was a volunteer for. She was an active searcher with EquiSearch and got her kicked off of EquiSearch too. So putting her kid in danger and blasting all of her kid's daycare information because he was a little intoxicated and aggressive with the information and how he spoke behind the scenes and got her kicked off of EquiSearch at that and trying to do something good. It is the tit for tat. Going back and forth doesn't have. Eventually, somebody's going to snap. It's best to move forward and not engaging further. Well, that's the thing. I engage when I'm tired of seeing innocent people get hurt. And I would rather take the hits than watching somebody get something that they don't deserve just because of where they go.
Well, and I also just want to back that up with one other thing, Miss T. So, for anybody that goes out there and you stick up for somebody or you stick up for what's right and the target gets placed on your back, when the heat comes, don't tuck tail and run. Don't. Stand up for what you believe because you'll have people that support you, period. You will. There's always going to be somebody that likes you. There's always going to be somebody that dislikes you. But at the end of the day, if you put that target on your back, don't stand there and cry like a victim when you get a little bit of heat from it.
Buster,
Yep.
did you just hear about the one story that I said of one of the subs? Let me know. there's a lot in the background that not everybody sees. And when it comes to losing your home, your car, what you're going to eat, and your own child, and going after that subscriber's family just because it's a subscriber and they don't answer the phone calls, there's a reason of why we're being loud. And it looks like we are the insane bad guys because they flip the narrative and make it look like we're the crazy ones. I'm okay with that as long as I'm taking the heat off of somebody else's back. But if the person that I'm taking heat for does not make the appropriate steps, that's when I will go quiet. And that's your battle. And Watcher has made it clear too. If you guys are not willing, and I'm only speaking to the ones that have reached out for help and resources, to go as far as
Fumble nuts. Hey, Ruben. Hey, fumble nuts.
as far as you're asking of us, then there's only so far we can go after that.
Yeah.
I agree.
And I will say,
I've had people,
go ahead.
Thank you, Buster.
I was just gonna say, I've had people come at me, and I've had
Thank you,
people
Kaylee.
come to me and tell me that people were, trashing on me and stuff, and I appreciate that aspect of it, but I appreciate the people that do go out there and stick up for me and stand up for me. I really do, but I don't want to, because I know what that's going to bring them. You know what I mean? And I don't want my subscribers and my watchers to have to deal with that kind of shit.
Right.
I mean, I'll stand up. I'll stick up for myself any day of the week. That's not a problem. And if someone's out there talking shit about me, I appreciate you letting me know, and then I'll go handle it. But I don't want my subscribers and my watchers to go stick up for me, because, like I said, I don't want them to have, because I know what comes with it. I know what kind of shit they're going to get, especially if it's certain creators. You know what I mean? And my channel just means so much to me that I just don't want people getting trashed because they're going to stick up for me.
Well,
So,
what I was going to say, and I absolutely agree with you 110%. I mean, I've seen people stick up for me. I've seen people trash me that I've never
yep,
made a comment back to. But I will
yep,
tell everybody right here, right now, I'm going to follow through with what I said I was going to do as far as getting somebody served. Anything above and beyond that, I'm done. I'm not sinking another dollar. I'm not sinking another thought. I'm not sinking any more time into taking down somebody that other people just want to sit back and still go over there and watch what's going on. Or, I'm done, y'all. I'm absolutely done. Everything that I set out to accomplish, with the exception of one thing that I said I would do for somebody, has been accomplished. And as far as seeing him go down, guess what? He's going to do that himself. You can only go for so long behaving the way that they are and doing the things that they're doing before karma swift kicks them in the ass. I don't have to add to that. I'd rather take my money and my time and my energy and do something fun. Do something for me or my family or my friends. I am
there you
not
go.
going to allow this situation to consume me anymore. Period. I'm not going to allow it to affect my real life. I'm not going to allow it to affect my entertainment time on YouTube. I'm not going to allow it to affect my friendships that I've made on YouTube. I'm not doing it because they're not worth it. If they want to think that they've won, if they want to think that they're a success, by all means, go right ahead and think it. Because no amount of money spent, no amount of words said is going to change that. It's only going to be when they have to eat a slice of that humble pie. And guess what? I'm patient enough and I'm confident enough that I don't have to do another thing, and it's going to happen. So I'm done with it, y'all. After what I was told and what I saw yesterday, I mean, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. And I've heard so many people say, well, you know, I wish this would happen or I wish that would happen. But when it comes down to it, as my mom would always say, when it comes down to the nut cutting, you see what people are really about. Buster, I've gone a week without even talking about these fools. So, I mean, it's no sweat off my back. Because really and truly, he's not worth the sweat off my ass. And I've already sunk $2,000 into this situation. You know, it's already affected my grandchildren, and they're not out of state. I saw that for myself yesterday. So all the lies that have been told, I don't have to go around and run around and try to defend anything. If you know me, then you know. If somebody wants to dig in my background, call me or reach out to me. I'll give you all my
I'll tell you
information.
myself.
You
I'll tell you
know,
myself.
I've
Yep.
already had someone do it. There's nothing there. So why am I allowing myself to be wrapped up in all of this bullshit? Because if people don't care to pick up the phone and make a report, or if people don't want the help, there's nothing else I can do. I'm not fixing to try to sit here and continue to put a square peg in a round hole. It's ridiculous.
Well, and that's also another point is a lot of people asked for help.
Yeah.
Certain people stood up like Watcher, and now the ones that asked for help are not following through. And Cluckers, people only snap back. If you're kind and do nothing, nothing should happen to you. That is in a perfect world. Unfortunately, I'm talking about subscribers that have nothing to do with content creators between each other or streamers or whatever it may be. They are perfectly great, amazing people that are getting attacked and doxxed, whether it be one creator that some of us are talking about or other creators that some of us are talking about. It's affected everybody in some way to where what's too far. And also, right or wrong, what you do by taking a knife to a gunfight, discretion is sometimes better than part of a valor, in my opinion. No. Not when the innocent are being attacked.
So I feel this way, Buster. Like I said earlier, and you missed this part, if it would have been kept to me and the information that I released on my own, I would have not had a problem. But when it went to innocent people that are not on YouTube, regardless of their connection to me or whatnot, that's where I drew the line and I had a problem. What I did to deserve what happened was I was given an ultimatum to choose. Did I want to be a part of that? Or did I want to be able to go on several of my friends' panels? I chose my friends. And because I chose my friends, I became public enemy number one. And so at that point, I did what I did. And at the end of the day, you are entitled to your opinion. By God, have one. But until it happens to you, you won't fully understand.
Yep.
So,
Well, I happen to agree with Fumblenuts when he said that I believe people are tired of people being doxxed and possibly letting the fools get off the hook. I agree with that. And I was just talking to somebody else about this the other day. It is nice to have someone have your back and stick up for you because it gets exhausting exhausting trying to do it for yourself all the time. And, and watch her for, she has put a lot of her money and life into this. And what she's gone through is pretty bad. And it's exhausting, isn't it? I mean, I can hear
Yeah.
it, your voice. You're just beat down and tired. And I worried about you for that reason. But
Yeah.
it's good to have, like Fumble Nuts and Ruben say, quit fucking with her. Quit fucking with these people. Enough's enough,
Yeah.
And because it's exhausting trying to do it for yourself. So it's good to know that you got people behind you that's there to lean on when it happens. That's just my opinion.
Yeah. Well, and it's, for example, even LC stood up and said, quit attacking the women. Just quit attacking the women. And I think that there's something to be said when somebody continually goes after women. And I am tired. It's really, y'all, I'm generally a very happy-go-lucky. I want to have fun. I want to joke. I want to play. I've cried probably more in the last couple of weeks than I have in a really long time. I'm not an emotional person. But when I think about the big picture and how many people have been affected by all of this, it makes me emotional because it's just not worth it.
Yeah.
It's really not worth it. And I feel like that any time that a little bit of ground was made, all of a sudden everybody would start turning against each other and we'd lose the ground that we made. And guess what? I don't want to fight. I don't. It takes years off of your life. And I don't have that many more left. I ain't no fucking spring chicken. And what I
And
do have left, I want it to be good.
Watcher's at her breaking point, if you can't hear it in her voice. I want the funny, crazy Watcher back.
Yeah.
And Buster, that's the reason of, without saying the same people saying stuff at endless hours attacking, I wake up to clips of my name in people's mouths all the time.
Me too.
And screenshots
Yep.
of people talking shit in chat. We are still human. And what you need to realize is sometimes you have a breaking point and self-respect enough in hearing everybody's stories in the background of why they walked away or how they walked away. So just because it looks like we might be driving the narrative of attacking, that's because we're tired of seeing certain people be attacked that shouldn't even be in the line of fire, or for simply being in somebody else's chat.
Yeah, all I did the other day was get up on Bob's panel and answered one of his question because nobody could answer it for him. And I became content along with somebody I care about, along with my grandson, along with my husband. It was crazy. I didn't say one bad thing about that other person. He was just triggered that I was there. I wasn't being nasty. I was just answering his question about the mod situation. Just being there made content. It was crazy. Just being here right now is probably I'm gonna become content. And that's fine. Whatever.
And it's made me to where I always wanted to be a voice for the missing. And I love true crime. And I always have followed it. But it's even made me not want to cover my content or cover cases or really do much. And that's why I went to the island content as an escape from all of the bullshit. Turn lemons into lemonade.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes we put smoke in mirrors so they get off the other asses. That's all I have to say about that. I did not forget about you, Hotspot. I put you back on. She still wants on that damn island. She cracks me up. But it comes to the point of where it's crossing the line. And it's just anybody should be able to go and do what they want when they want and how they want. And if anybody was to come over from any other side, they're still welcome here. I don't block anybody unless it's derogatory or nasty or it's unacceptable in chat, and I'll get dinged for it. Be creative with your wording, I guess.
You know, I was talking to somebody the other day, and they gave me a little nugget of wisdom, and it's never been really put to me this way. And they said, you know, I want you to think about something when you find yourself starting to get entangled in a situation and having a conversation or discussion with someone. Is that person reasonable? Are they a reasonable person? And if they're not a reasonable person, why would you waste your time? And I will tell you, I've chewed on that little nugget of wisdom a whole lot. And there's a whole lot of people that I've met that are very reasonable people. I can have conversations, tough conversations with them, and they're reasonable. There are some people that just aren't reasonable. And if they're not, it's not worth my time because it's not going to go anywhere. They're not reasonable enough to understand my perspective or where I'm at. So, what's the point? Where did she go?
Who?
Miss T. She done knocked herself out the damn back door.
You didn't scare her away.
Lord have mercy. I hope she's reasonable. Well, shoot, it's just me and you now, girl. What are we going to do?
Well, I hope I'm considered one of them reasonable people you're talking about.
Absolutely. You've always been reasonable. I have a very tight knit circle
Me too.
that
Yeah.
I feel are reasonable people that I respect, I think the world of, and I trust. And it's taken some time to get there,
Of course.
you know, but it's been through those situations that have come up where we may not have seen eye to eye on something, or there may be questions as to why something was said or something was done.
Right.
We've been able to talk through those things. And that's important to me because
Right.
if I care about you and enough to let you in to my vulnerable places, then I feel like I have to be open enough to hear your criticism. I have to be open enough to hear your perspective and to really consider it because I want the same from you.
Exactly. Honesty is
Yeah.
always the best policy. Well, my circle's tight too, and if I've given you my phone number, that means you're part of my circle. And there's other extensions, that I respect people that are friends with part of the people in my circle. I'm pretty outspoken and pretty honest about everything and my feelings. If someone calls and says, blah, 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 I'm not one of them friends that's going to pacify you and tell you what you want to hear.
Right.
I'm one
No,
of them.
you sure won't.
I'm one of them friends that I'm going to tell you what you need to hear or what my opinion is. And I'm always upfront. Do you really want my honest opinion?
Be careful when you say, yeah, of course I do.
Because you're going to get it.
Yep, exactly.
Raven Gypsy, I love you. So, but yeah, I don't want a friend that's just going to tell me what they think I want to hear,
Right.
That's not a friend.
Mm-mm.
And I expect to be called out when I'm wrong. So that I can correct my behavior. I might
Yep.
not take your advice and do what I want anyway, but then when I have repercussions from that behavior, it's on me, right?
Yep.
Barefoot,
That's right.
barefoot. And it really pisses me off. So yeah, barefoot. And I
I
call
know,
each other
especially
out all the
when you
time.
wanted her to say, yeah, you're absolutely correct. And she's like, well, do you want my honest opinion?
Yeah, yeah.
If you're asking me,
Barefoot and I are always calling each other out on shit. You know, you shouldn't do this. Well, okay, but I'm gonna do it anyway. And usually he's like, but I know you're gonna do it anyway. And it'll be like, well, why? Why do you feel like you need to do it? Because it makes me feel better. He'd be like, well,
Matt, you've been mad at me since a long time now because my name is not Watcher, it's Sharon. Sharon your biz.
Ruben
I
Sanchez.
was dying when I heard that. Sorry, I got kicked out.
That's okay.
I
Of
can't
your own
believe
life.
Ruben Sanchez spent like 5 hours on my panel the other night and he doesn't even recognize my voice on
You got
this panel.
cyber molested, I heard.
He did. He got cyber molested and probably married off. I don't know.
It was an arranged marriage.
It was definitely weird.
Hey, Steffers.
I feel
Hey,
bad for
Steffers.
him.
Now, I agree with you. A lot of us live outside of YouTube with problems and come to YouTube to decompress from life's problems, not to watch more drama. And that's where I'm making a stand on my channel. If you do see me ever flip out or rant, it's for a reason. I may not be forward with the reason because it is not my story to tell.
Or just tell her to put the tequila bottle down.
Yeah. Like the other day when I asked you, Misty, were you drunk when you said that?
And I was sleep deprived.
I was pissed. But
F you and the
we've made
horse you
sense
ran
of
into.
Mhm.
That's still one of the funniest lines I think I've ever heard on YouTube.
horse you ran into.
Yep. I was like, you mean the horse you rode into? Hell no, the horse you ran into. Right into the ass of that.
Ruben Sanchez said I sold him. Dude, I defended you. Quit playing.
There was a backdoor deal on that. Get the cash out.
No. Hey,
But
if she'd have
it is-
donated a bag of dog food to, the local animal shelter, I might have sold you.
Made that trade. What were you gonna say, Miss T?
always what I want to make sure that the chat understands is just because you see it as content or under the premonition that it is content, it isn't always content.
Right. I just, and Watcher and I've talked about this. The phone calls outside of YouTube with all, people. I'm the kind of person when I have a phone call with somebody, I presume that it's private.
Yeah.
I don't expect it to be talked about with other people or make content of. And like you said earlier, that is what causes problems. Because people don't respect the fact that, what we're saying to each other on the phone, we're either one, just most of the time venting or getting advice or vice versa. It doesn't need to be spread about and talked about. If I don't feel comfortable that my discussion with somebody on the telephone is going to be kept private, I'm not going to call that person. It's
Mhm.
wrong to do that. It causes more problems. We all have enough problems, all of us, not just us in general on panel, but even the subscribers, they get beat around. And I feel so bad. And I've said this before in one of my lives that it's horrible that these subscribers come into chats and don't feel comfortable or get attacked in other chats. I've experienced it, and I think everybody's experienced it once or twice.
Yeah.
It's not good. And no matter how I feel about people, um, if I'm in a chat, I try to respect them and not make them feel uncomfortable.
And that brings up a good point is I will either get comments in other chats or in emails that they're not comfortable to comment. And I want everybody and anybody to be comfortable and comment and have their own opinion. We can always have an agree to disagree.
Hmm. Well, I
But
can tell you now that if I get an email because somebody was being bullied or felt uncomfortable and they have legitimate proof of what was happening and why, yeah, I mean, I have no problem blocking said person that was making one of my subscribers, uncomfortable, because I think that's my responsibility, because I want everybody also to feel comfortable in my chat. I've got amazing mods. I trust them 100%, and I've never had an issue. And I hope that if I did ever have an issue, that it is handled properly, because nobody should ever feel uncomfortable to be able to voice their opinion or talk in my chat. Period. Period.
Yeah.
yeah.
Bullshit.
And that's another thing that comes up to me is everybody wanted me to go on an apology tour, but yet not do the same themselves. So always be compassionate, always be understanding, because some people might not see everything. So always filter if you can, unless you're into that drama shit, which I'll go into some drama channels and be entertained and enjoy it because I just want to roll my eyes. But there's a certain time where if you're ever uncomfortable in my chat, don't be, and bring it to my awareness, please.
Yeah, same here. I want to know, because it won't make me happy.
Yeah.
Well, and one other thing that I just want to say here is, if you're having a private conversation with someone about a particular situation and it involves other people, which it typically does outside of the person that you're talking to, and you bring something up, or they bring something up, it's not for you to turn around and go tell those other people or that other person what was said.
Exactly.
If somebody's venting to you about something or you're having a discussion about it, and I'll say right here, I'm guilty as charged. And I thank God that the person that I did it to actually gave me the opportunity to apologize, because the way things happened weren't the way it was intended. And I stuck my nose in something I didn't belong in. And I'm thankful that we got to talk about it. But we find people that we care about, and we hear things and we want to defend and we want to stick up for them and we want what's right. But in all actuality, if it's not your business, don't make it your business.
Right.
And on that note, I guess LC announced that I'm going to be co-hosting Ladies Night too.
Yep. Dun, 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 dun.
So I hope all of you think about this video, and the replay crew, listen to some of this as not necessarily, how would I say it?
Thank you,
September the
Ruben. Ruben, you have a beautiful day too.
You too.
Love you,
Thank
Ruby.
Ruben. I want you all to make your own judgment, but just know September 9th is Ladies Night. It'll be 2 Saturdays a month. on LCs. But just know, always have that in the back of your head. Is this really content? Or is this something more? There's a difference when there's content and people going at each other that are creators. But when it goes over the busting of the balls and the banter, use it like a rubber band on your wrist.
Mm-hmm.
There's something on the sideline said, I appreciated being able to email someone a question and get an answer and it not be mentioned again, rather than made into a big deal in chat. That is 100% true. If you email, I say channel owner because I'm not a content creator. I'm just a bitcher. I try to create content, but I don't do enough shows. Do what?
I love you, girl. You crack me up. Did you say you're just a bitcher?
I'm just a bitcher. I'm just defending myself lately. It seems like I haven't really had time to create content. But yeah, if one of my subscribers emailed me, it's not going to be made content of because I wouldn't appreciate it either.
Thank you, Carla. So good to have you. And yeah, now that I'm not getting hundreds of emails every day just to get to who I was producing for, I can actually reply and take the time and respond when I'm able to between being a mom and working full time and being a wife. So any emails that I get, I'm actually able to pretty much maintain pending the day. But that's how it should be.
Yeah, I view emails like phone calls. They're private. And it's a private conversation. So
Yeah,
that's the way I
because
look
if
at
it
email.
wanted to be addressed, it would be
Publicly addressed.
content.
Yeah.
It would be in the live stream.
Yep.
You know, they would ask in chat, not in email.
Yep.
Or on your community page, not in an email. And that's respecting the subs and other creators. Privacy and actual genuine interaction.
And Ruben said it perfect. It's not rocket science. Do what you know is the right thing to do. It's that simple. If you don't want it done to you, don't do it to somebody else.
Matt, nobody emails me either because I think they're scared of what I might say to them back.
Matt, I'm going to get Katie Pebble at your ass because I just emailed you yesterday. You little fibber.
Yeah. And American Honey, I absolutely adore you. I think you're amazing. Just saying. For a friend.
And that's why I always, and I haven't done it recently, but I need to get back onto it, and it's been hitting me hard lately, is as I always close out all of my lives, don't forget to smile or be somebody's smile because you could be their saving grace. And always try to laugh because life is precious. And always filter what you're seeing because it's not always just quote unquote content. And make your right judgment and thoughts, because if you're only supporting the fun banter, but weigh out how much of it is fun and how much of it is drama, attacking, and harassment. So don't forget to smile or be somebody's smile. Love y'all. Thank you, watcher. Thank you, Cut and Shoot.
You're welcome.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Sunday. And I'll
Great
see
topic.
you on these crazy YouTube streets. And have a little compassion and always set the example. Don't be the example. Love y'all.